everyone, my name is Emma. I love musicals, Disney and all things cozy. Thank you so much for clicking on my video today and I hope you enjoy watching this little video review. On June the 1st, I saw one of my biggest idols for the first time, Carrie Fletcher. She was performing in the Liverpool Empire Theatre as part of her 18-show UK solo tour. If you don't know who Carrie Fletcher is, she is a West End actress, famous for originating the West End version of Heathers in the role as Veronica Sawyer. She's also played Eponine in Les Miserables, both as Little Eponine, and even played Fantine in the Les Miserables. The show opened up with the tenor group Trinity. So they're three tenors singing Irish folk music. One of them was American Irish, one of them was Canadian Irish, and one of them was Irish. So the names were Emmett O'Hanlon, Ronan Scolard, and Conor Murphy. And they sang Danny Boy, they sang Anthem from Chess, and Go the Distance from Hercules, and I thought they were fabulous. They had a 30-minute set. And they were wearing tuxedos and it really set the mood for, you know, being in a theatre and the classy vibe. If I was to critique it at all, is that I could see some audience members getting a bit antsy because it was 30 minutes. And if you're not the type of person who enjoy like slow songs for 30 minutes, that it might not be your cup of tea. I, for one, really enjoyed it. Like, I love kind of, you know, musical theatre songs, and I like ballads and I like big voices, and they had these incredible tenor voices. I don't think the set was that varied itself. It had mostly ballads, but where they made up for that, in my opinion, and why I think it worked, is because they had a sense of humour and they were cracking jokes with one another, and the transitions were quite smooth. I also really enjoyed that you were able to, in the interval of the show, you could come and meet them, buy their CD, and they would sign your program if you wanted. I've linked their Instagram profile as well as some of their music, because if you didn't go to this show, I highly encourage you to listen to Trinity, because I thought they were really nice. So the set for the stage was really nice and cozy and homey and very my vibe. So I think it was meant to resemble Carrie's living room. So on the stage, there was a massive sofa, there was a bookshelf full of books, and there was also a large painting of her cat, Edgar, which I thought was really cute. It felt very much like Carrie. Already before you went in to watch the show, it had a very nice atmosphere. The lighting in this show was fantastic. They had certain sections of the show where they were using these dim kind of rainbowy lights, and they had a lot of variety in the different lighting. It was very simple. I don't think I can go back and pinpoint every single thing, but the fact that I wasn't thinking about it goes to show how smooth it was. This was constructed kind of like a little mini musical about Carrie's life. You were given a QR code either on Carrie's social media or in the program. There was a QR code that you could scan, and all of these titles of potential stories that she would tell every night was on it. So one of them I remember was A Wonky Fable, and another one was Tale as Old as Time. So what you could do that each night, you would click on whichever title, and the story that you'd voted for would also have a mystery song attached to it. And you didn't know at all what story she would tell, but you would maybe have an inkling from the headline what kind of realm it would be in. But you wouldn't necessarily have the faintest idea what song she would perform to go with that song, which I thought was really nice. If you were to go on multiple shows on the tour, that potentially you would get a completely different show the next night. And I think there was a couple of songs on the set list that she would perform every night. She would find out the rest of the songs on stage. The band would obviously know. Not sure, but I think it was like a mix of she had some staples and then she would find out the rest of the songs on stage. Her set list opened with her singing a song called Another Chapter. One of my favourite songs that she's ever performed, also on her YouTube channel, is Pretty Funny from Dogfight the Musical by Pasek and Paul. I love her singing that song, and I have listened to that for years and years on repeat, and I was thrilled to find out that she was singing this song this evening as well. She told a story about this boy who, when she was a teenager, didn't think she was pretty enough. And it's a really, really nice song, and she performed it with so much integrity and so much honesty that it would break your heart. She's a very good, I wouldn't just say she's a good actress, it felt like it came from a genuine place when she performed it. I can't exactly remember what story it was, but for one of the things we'd voted for, she told a story where she read out of her teenage diary. So her favourite band, My Chemical Romance, being on the Jonathan Ross show. And you know, she put on this like silly hoodie, I think it had like cat ears, and she like pretended to perform it like using a hairbrush kind of thing. Like, you know what you would do if you're a teenager standing in front of a mirror and just like goofing around. And she sang Not Okay from My Chemical Romance, which is actually my favourite song from them too, so that worked out. It was so funny, and I think it really, again, broke it up from like a stiff matinee performance of like just someone in a pretty dress singing and looking glamorous, obviously, but Carrie has so many talents. She is a very versatile actress. She's played serious roles, she's played funny roles, and I think it's really nice to see this kind of quirky side of her come out that we know from her videos. You know, just to see that she can be silly and laugh, because she has the vocal range to make you cry, but to make someone laugh, I think, is far harder, and the whole room loved her. There was a few moments in the show as well where our audience, she was reading out of this diary that I mentioned earlier, and one of the audience members goes,
"Dear Diary."
And then she laughed on stage. She thought it was so funny because that was obviously a Heathers reference. And yeah, it took her out of it for a few seconds, but I love that. I feel like you would get a different energy every single night doing that different set list, and the audience was so willing to participate, I think, because she's set the grounds for doing so. So another personal highlight for me was when the audience had picked a story that was attached to the song Watch What Happens from Newsies. The lyrics in this song are so fast, and she just kept up with it, and she needed a drink of water after that, but it was magnificent. It's a very hard song that she performed that I thoroughly enjoyed was I Say No from Heathers. Another song that I thought was just such a wonderful addition. She sang Bubble Wrap by McFly, which obviously it's her older brother, which I thought was really nice. She told an endearing story about Tom Fletcher being unable to cook in the kitchen when he was little, and it was really, really funny. She also sang I'd Rather Be Me from Mean Girls the musical. So the original singer of this track, Barrett Wilbert Weed, also originated the role of Veronica Sawyer in the American off-Broadway version of Heathers, and obviously Carrie originated Veronica Sawyer on the West End. So I thought it was a nice little crossover between the two actresses, and I don't know if it was intentional or if she just likes the song. That's a really nice message, and yeah, really fun. And as I said, this set list had everything. She also sang Someone Who Loves Me by Sarah Bareilles, and she got quite teary-eyed when she sang this song, and I think she probably was thinking about, you know, her husband when she was singing it, and it was so lovely to just, I don't know why I'm tearing up just thinking about it. That's really weird. I'm so sorry. She even said that she hadn't gone a single evening without singing this song, without crying, and I understand, because even thinking about it now, I get emotional. Anyway, it was really sweet. My favourite bit, but it's one of my favourite bits about going to the theatre, merchandise. And as I was going to the theatre by myself, I could get as much merchandise as I wanted and spend ages in that gift shop. So always get a programme when I go and see a show, because, you know, it's a nice memory, and I've had a few incidents where I've been to the theatre and heartbreakingly forgotten the programme at the theatre, and this was not going to be one of those times. This is the programme. It says Carrie, Hope, Fletcher, an open book on the front. I'm not going to show you every single thing in this programme. I've seen a few people do that online. I'm just going to show you a tiny bit. So inside, we have some photos of Carrie, Hope Fletcher's friends and family, and some of the roles that she's played. So there's some pictures in here. I'll see if I can insert it on the screen of her as Wednesday Addams. She's in the Caucasian circle. And then there's a few photos of like her husband and her friends. And I won't read the whole programme, but I'll read this. This show couldn't have been created without some incredible people putting up with me for the last year. And then I'm just going to read one section of the end of it. To my dearest friends and family who inspire me every day not only to be a better performer, but also a better person. Thanks for supporting me in my show from the moment I told everyone I was doing it, and you all looked horrified for me because you knew what I would be putting myself through mentally to do it. I'm lucky enough for there to be too many of you to name, but you all know who you are, and from my heart to yours, thank you. Which I thought was really lovely. And she also thanks her mum and dad. And there's this gorgeous picture of her in here. And as I mentioned earlier, the stories that you could vote for, you could scan that QR code and you would get it. I also got this really nice t-shirt from the tour, which says Carrie, Hope, Fletcher, an open book with gold foiling. I don't know if you can see it at all. Now, also got this gorgeous sage mug, like sage green is literally my favourite colour. I was like furious that I had to get everything. It's this really nice mug, really nice sturdy quality as well. And on the front it says Carrie, Hope, Fletcher, an open book. And on the back it says UK Concert Tour 2023. So had to get that. Also got this really lovely Carrie, Hope, Fletcher pin, enamel pin, because I love collecting pins and I thought it was really nice and simple. Love that. Highly encourage you, if you didn't have the opportunity to come and see Carrie, Hope, Fletcher this time around, but you're still a big fan and you'd like some merchandise, they've actually opened up a tour shop, which I'll link down below, and have a look for yourself. They had loads of other things, like I'm even considering buying more merch. So what you could purchase was the pin badge that I have. There was also a green tote bag. You could purchase a magnet. There was my t-shirt. There was also this really, really nice hoodie and I really wanted it. And it was £50 and I mustn't lie to you, after buying all of this, I felt a bit like I couldn't afford it at the time, but I might actually go and buy it later on in the month because it's a very nice hoodie and looked like it was very nice quality. But again, I'll put everything on the screen, guys, and you know what I quite liked about it as well? I don't know if this is my age or whatever, I'm not judging anyone is, but I quite actually enjoyed that. Some people who put their face on every single item of merchandise, it's not the one for me. It makes sense that her face is on the programme. It makes sense that her face was on this little magnet because it was like a poster of the show, but I liked that it wasn't just her face all over the hoodie or whatever. It's nice and tasteful, and if you're out and about, you're not going to just, I don't know. I don't personally like merchandise who just have someone's face on it. I don't know what it is about it. Carrie has a gorgeous face. I don't want you to think that that's what this is about. I just like the classy vibes of it, and I think it was very her. So I really enjoy that. So my overall critique of the show is basically just, I really enjoyed it. For me, it was a 10 out of 10, for me personally. But if I was to pull it down a little bit, like, I know there are people out there who would probably have preferred opening act to either have been a bit shorter, or if they had a more varied set list. But other than that, I have no criticism, and I know that I'm a Carrie Fletcher superfan, but this is my honest feedback, honestly, and I wouldn't lie. I had a really good time. I thought her dynamic with her band was fabulous. I loved that she had a string section for certain bits as well. And I feel like I wasn't disappointed at all. It was more than I even asked for. She said something that will stick with me for a really long time, actually. She was very honest about how this show had been very hard for her to agree to do when she was approached to, because she is a musical theatre actress and she's very comfortable and very used to playing characters that is not herself. So when she was approached about the project, she thought this is the last thing I want to do. But she said something, I'm paraphrasing a little bit because I don't have it word for word, but she said something like that everyone has other versions of themselves that they're afraid of accessing and never tap into. But if they did, it would open up a world of possibilities of other people you could be potentially and grow from. Like, she gave the example how she always goes to Disney World or Disneyland for she knows that's what she enjoys to do, and how this year she's tried to branch out a bit and travel to other countries because she's blocking off all these other different cultures. I like things to stay the same as well. I think we all can relate to that in some capacity of feeling stagnant in certain places of our lives where it feels more comfortable to just stay the same rather than growing. And actually, if I'm honest with you guys, this YouTube journey for me, I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel and I've been scared to do so, and this has inspired me to do that. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you did, because it really helps out my channel, and especially because I'm only starting out my videos. I'd love the support, and if you guys want to leave me a comment down below, just saying if you've been to Carrie's tour, what did you think of it? What kind of songs did she perform in your venue? Was it any different from what I explained? Your comments down below. I'd love to speak. And yeah, stay magical.